The key thing that you maybe missed out on was what is the probability that the motorist did not make an obscene gesture. Alright, 277 said that they made an obscene gesture, which means that those that did not was 2,885 minus 277. Alright, so let me get my calculator here, and we'll do 2,885 minus 277, and we get that's 2,608. Alright, so the probability that one motorist did not make an obscene gesture would be 2,608 divided by 2,885. And when we do that, we get 0.9040. That's where this answer here came from. Alright, so just to confirm that on the calculator, take that number divided by 2,885 and we get 0.093,903,986, blah blah blah, which rounds to in 4 decimal places to 0.9040. Now for part B, if 40 of the surveyed motorists are randomly selected without replacement, that's the key thing. It means we're going to pull one out and we're going to keep pulling them out and not putting them back, which means there's fewer people every time. What's the probability that none of them made an obscene gesture? Should the 5% guideline be applied in this case? Alright, the 5% guideline, hopefully you read that maybe in the book somewhere or saw it somewhere. If you have more than I'm trying to remember the exact cutoff. There's a certain number, I think it's 100 things that you're pulling from. You use the 5% guideline, which basically says if I've got, let's just say the question said I have 8 marbles, 3 red, and 5 blue. What's the chance of pulling 2 red marbles? The first time it's 3 out of 8, but then the next time there's 1 less marble to be pulled from and there's 1 less red one, so the chance of pulling 2 reds, so we write that as probability of 2 red marbles is 3/8 times 2 7s. Because there's so few marbles that it really does alter the probability that you'll pull a red the second time. But in this case, there's so many people in this survey, 2,885, that the 5% guideline should be applied in this case. And that basically that means that if I change this problem here to say if we had 800 marbles, 300 red, 500 blue, if I changed it to say that, then that in that case we don't say 300 over 800 times 299 over 799, because that's very very close to still 3 over 8. If you say 299 divided by 799, so the difference in that decimal is so small it's insignificant. So in the case of if I did it in red, I would just say the chances of 2 reds is 300 over 800 times 300 over 800, or 300 over 800 squared. And that would be the probability of pulling 2 red marbles out of such a gigantic quantity of marbles. Alright, so for the question here, what they're getting at here then is we just take this variable 2,608. So for our question here, let me bring it out over here, we're going to take 2,608 divided by 2,885, and we're going to raise that to the 40 power. Alright, because we're going to have that probability every time we pull, so we're going to have 0.9040 times 0.9040, and we're going to do that 40 times. So if you take that fraction that I had over, or this decimal I had over here, and then you hit, well, my calculator it's X, Y, different calculators have different buttons, and we do to the 40 power, you get 0.0176. And so that is the answer here. So you choose the one that says 5% guideline should be applied, and the number is 0.0176. Hope that helps.